because you are a lawyer, and I know you're not in Kentucky, but do you have any insight on why there has been no progress really in Breonna
with the Breonna? You know, and people,
they made Breonna's law, but it seems a little backwards to have the law, but not hold anyone accountable for what happened to her. So as a lawyer, can you explain this to me?
Well, in Kentucky, I followed it, but not as close as I've obviously followed the Rashard Brooks here. And obviously, I'm great friends with our district attorney. But usually in those cases, you have to bring in a special prosecutor. Or, you know, in Georgia, we will bring in the GBI to investigate, which is this, you know, similar to the FBI. So I don't know if they have a KBI. But I don't know if it's that or the grand jury. Now, here we're not having grand juries convened because of COVID-19. So we obviously know that this happened and it was sort of swept under the rug for not a long time, but for a few months. So it reminds me sort of the Aubrey case that we had down in South Georgia, where there was so much of a cloud of cover up, shall we say, and mishandling inside of the DA's office. And I'm not sure if that's what's happening there. That, I mean, the only thing that's going to really change it is just pressure. And so we're definitely, Tamika Mallory has definitely talked to me about doing a huge march there and a rally. And I know that they have done some rallying in front of the governor's home, I believe, and the mayor's home. And so, I mean, I just think we have to keep pressure on it, because it's ridiculous. But we used to have those same no-knock warrants here in Georgia, and it was a huge case that came out of that in the late 90s. So I'm very familiar with that whole law, and it often ends in, you know, innocent people being killed.
Yeah. I mean, change happens, but it happens slowly, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. And Phaedra, I really appreciate your perspective on that. I just had to ask you, especially as a lawyer. And I want to switch gears because you're going to be on the new season of Marriage Boot Camp, Reality Stars Edition, Hip Hop Edition, really. How did this opportunity come about?
Well, you know what? They had asked me a few times, and I had declined. But then I have a good friend, Lil Mo, that was on it the season before, and I had watched her season, and it was interesting to me. But I called her and had a very honest conversation with Lil Mo, and she said, Phaedra, it was transformative. It was the best thing I have ever participated in my life. She said, I made friends, they became family. It was just a great experience. I got great counseling. Dr. Ish is amazing. Judge Toller is amazing. And she was like, you should really do it. And so I was like, you know, and I trust her judgment. And I you know, we have a kindred spirit. So I said, you know what, I'm really gonna consider it. And as you well know, I haven't been the best in choosing partners, but you know, I'm a great businesswoman, but I don't have the same acumen for love, so.
Well, I mean, Phaedra, you're dating actor Medina Islam. He is a tall drink of water, if I say so.
Oh, he is so adorable.
And he
so
seems
cute.
like such a sweet, smart guy. How did you two meet, and how long have you two been together?
Okay, so we met. We have a mutual best friend. And so he was here for years doing the Have and Have-Nots, because he's a real trained actor, you know, so he's not, you know, we're two different type of television personalities. So he's a trained actor, but he's also a musician as well. So he's a rapper, you know, and so that's what's funny about it. So that made us perfect for that audition. And you'll get to see his skills on the show. And I'll even be rapping.
Well, you know, speaking of his skills, Phaedra, in a clip you say that you and Medina haven't had sex, which blows my mind. Is this still true? And was this the biggest issue that sort of led you to be in the boot camp house?
You know what? This was our biggest issue. And to be very honest, it was because we're bi-coastal. And, you know, I think you have to learn from your mistakes, because if you don't, it's no longer a mistake, it's a habit. And so I had been in a relationship with a great guy out of Chicago, Tone. And, you know, we obviously had a huge physical attraction, a lot of passion. And because of that whole physicality of the relationship, it sort of basically fizzled because I didn't really get to know who he was, because passion can be blinding. And so, you know, for this relationship, Medina is super nice, super smart, great guy. I didn't want to rush into anything because I wanted to make sure I was taking my time so I wouldn't be blinded by, you know, the power of the passion.
I totally understand that. You know, how are you two handling quarantine? Are you still bi-coastal? Are you quarantined?
Oh yeah, we're still bi-coastal. We talk often. I mean, and it's funny because, you know, we just talked a few minutes ago, but he's a sweetheart. You know, he's totally a sweetheart.
Well,
he's so good. Yeah, he's so good.
He seems absolutely incredible. It seems like you two keep your relationship, you know, fairly private, as there are hardly any posts of you two, you know, on social media together. Was this decision intentional? Do you just want to keep your private life as private as possible?
I have found the more private you are, the you know, the better the relationship, because when people start chiming in and it becomes a public relationship, you know, it leads to, you know, people getting into your DMs, you know, oh, telling you this, telling you that. And so, as you well know, I'm super private anyway. So, you know, we've done a few posts, but I've tried to limit it. You know, and I'll put them on my stories, but I just know that it's better when everyone's not all eyes on, because it just makes it puts the relationship under so much scrutiny. And at this point in my life, it's other things that I'm trying to focus on besides all the haters on the gram and the book, because, you know, some haters on the book and the gram.
Oh, don't I know it? That's where they live. They love living there.
The trolls are for real, and they're not the cute little people with the crazy hair.
Yeah, I wish it was them. That would be a lot easier. I wonder, has Medina met Dylan and Aiden, and do they like it?
Well, no, he hasn't.
Okay.
This is my thing. I don't, you know, I'm very old school, and my children are my prized possessions, and I really have not allowed them to meet anyone that I've dated, you know, which I've only dated Medina and Tom, but I haven't allowed them to meet either of them, because I have to make sure that they will be a fixture forever. And so until I make a permanent decision that, hey, this person is going to be in our life, I don't want randomness. Yeah. You know, it's, you know, I'm just set on, hey, when we get married, we can be a family.
Fair enough. I mean,
which they know who he is. They've talked to him on the phone. They know who he is, but in person, no. I'm just, you know, I'm old fashioned, very traditional. You know.
I get it. Listen, those two boys are growing up to be heartbreakers. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. And Phaedra, I'm curious, you know, looking back, you know, when you think about the boot camp house, what was your biggest takeaway from being on the show?
You know what? Now, this installation of Marriage Boot Camp is hands down the craziest one I've ever, this will be hands down the craziest one ever. Oh, man. I mean, WWE meets scary movie. I mean, this makes Housewives look like a day at Disney.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
A day at Disney is an understatement, to be honest. I mean, so I had never been in a situation like this. It was like, whoo. I mean, it is mind-boggling. But I mean, he and I got to know each other a lot more because I was sleeping in the same bed every night. So I got to know a lot about him. He got to know a lot about me. And he's so sweet. So that was good. But the biggest thing is I fell in love with all the couples in the house. I mean, we have become close friends. I literally talk to everybody, about 90% of them, every other day, if not every day. Now, Hazel E and I were friends 15 years plus before this, and I had no idea she was on the show. And so, you know, it's a lot of surprises that's going to happen that I can't say, but I mean, I just fell in love with the couples. I mean, everybody, I mean, we're like a family now.
I mean, listen, that's what happens when you're vulnerable together, you know?
I mean, it was an amazing experience, scary at times, not because of me and Medina, honey. You will have to tune in to see why it was scary, but it was it was definitely a great time.
Well, listen, I mean, I know fans, including myself, are so excited to see you back on television. Are you in any talks of having your own reality TV show all about you?
You know what? I am in talks about a show. I wouldn't say it was reality based. And so I'm super excited about that. So it's actually paperwork on the table now.
All right, Phaedra, something to look forward to in 2020. Honestly, thank you so much for being with me today. I miss you. I love you. Thank you.
Oh gosh, I am so stoked that it's you. You are so adorable. You have always been the best. So I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You.
Good luck with everything. And people, you can watch new episodes of Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars Edition, premiering July 2nd at 9/8 Central on WE TV. You get to see the lovely Phaedra Parks there with Medina.